Hey everybody, it's Toys of Arkham here. I hope you've all been keeping well. It's been a while. I'm back with another review. I'm very excited about this one. As you all know, I am a huge Blade Runner fan, and I have most of the 1/6 figure releases. Obviously they're all third-party releases because Hot Toys hasn't got the license, and even if they did, I don't think they'd ever produce Blade Runner figures. For whatever reason, I don't think they appeal to the masses, but nonetheless, I'm delighted that the third-party companies are making them. This particular figure is of a character called Neander Wallace from Blade Runner 2049, as played by Jared Leto, and it's made by a company called Supermad Toys. I have a couple of their releases from Blade Runner 2049. I've got the Rick Deckard and I've got the Officer K, and yeah, I'm happy with those figures, and I've done reviews of them if you want to check them out on the channel. But this figure here, I don't believe there are any other reviews of this figure as of yet. It was just released in the last week or two, I believe. So yeah, so let's just quickly look at the box. So there's a silhouette there of Neander Wallace, and just in terms of source material, Neander Wallace was, I suppose, the bad guy, the main bad guy in Blade Runner 2049, and yeah, interesting character. And this box here is fairly standard. That particular graphic there is very Blade Runner 2049-esque. The rest is pretty generic. The figure itself is Blade Hunter 2046 Evil Wallace 1/6 scale collectible figure, and you'll see the Wallace Corporation logo there, and then the brand is Supermad Toys. So it's a slipcover box, and it's got nice graphic here on the back, or maybe this is the front. But again, Evil Wallace, as played by Jared Leto, and Supermad Toys Blade Hunter 2046 Evil Wallace. So that's the box. Let's have a look at accessories this comes with. So this is really interesting. This is a stool, and it's real wood, and it has this cloth that comes with it to cover it, and that's featured in the movie, obviously. This is a stool he sits on while he's giving his, I suppose, there are multiple monologues he gives in the movie, but yeah, he's going through his thoughts while sitting on this, and it's done very well, very nice. As I said, it's real wood, so I appreciate that effort. So there's multiple hands here, fists, I suppose hands to hold various things. Is that 2 pairs of fists? No, that's slightly open. There's this little scalpel, and that was used by him to dispose of a replicant that he had created that was less than perfect, let's just put it that way. So he uses that to dispose of the replicant. These things here, they hover around him in the movie at times, and these wires I think are pliable or bendable, or is that the word? They can be manipulated to make these look like they're hovering in the air. I haven't done it, and to be honest, guys, I don't plan on doing it, but you can take it from me that it can be done, and I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait for another review to see it play out, and I apologize for that, but I just don't see myself ever using these. Anyway, they're with it. If you plan on using it, it can be done. So let's have a look at the figure itself. So the base is a fairly standard base. It has Blade Hunter 2046 Evil Wallace. You know, those of you who are customizers will obviously swap that out and maybe get a decal here to make it look more official. So starting at the feet, you can see his exposed toes. He has these slippers on. It's kind of like I suppose an Asian type of style dress wear he has here. So this is like a satin velvety type trousers that just drape quite naturally over the sandals, and they are plain black with a sort of a sheen to them. And you can see in the light they kind of have a slight glisten off them. I can't tell if that's movie accurate or not. I presume it is. The movie is shot in quite a dark setting. So you move up from there, and this is like almost a felt type of material that they're using, but it does sit nicely on the body of the figure underneath. It looks quite natural, and it's, in terms of proportion, I think it's quite accurate. Jared Leto was not the biggest guy, so again, it has this kind of oriental, kind of Asian look about it, and it's very accurate to the movie. So we'll just turn that around. Again, you can see it fits quite well. So let's have a look at the head sculpt. That's what it's all about, isn't it? So you'll see there's this little blue, what looks like an LED, and a little symbol behind his ear, and that's used to manipulate these floating objects, I think. And it's been a while since I watched the movie, actually. You'd think as a fan I would know these things, but I can't remember specifically what that is. But essentially, he can't see. In the movie, he's blind, and that is why his eyes are, I suppose, glazed over, and I suppose, how would you put it, ultra dilated, but he can't see, and he uses these to see. They're like an extra sensory type of device that he uses, and I believe they're operated by this behind his ear, and there's a way of getting that little blue light to illuminate with particular lighting. It doesn't take a battery, but apparently it does light up. So in terms of likeness, I think it's really good. In fact, it's a lot better in person than the promotional images that I saw, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. In the movie there are various close-ups, and you can see in his eyes, or around his eyes, sort of a distressed look, kind of a wrinkling effect, and that's there, very much so. The light here is probably washing it out slightly. The beard looks very accurate. That's how he had his facial hair in the movie, and his hair on his head was slicked back just like this, and it is sculpted very well. So I have to say I'm really impressed with this head sculpt. I think it really does represent how he looks in that movie, and it's a really good paint job. His eyes are really accurate. I love that sky blue colouring that is used, and you know, for a figure that I'd imagine isn't going to exactly sell out, so to speak, he's a, you know, for those die-hard Blade Runner fans, they'll want it, but I mean, he doesn't have mass appeal, but given that, they really did put in a really good effort here, as far as I can see. And again, you can see the hair looks very well from the back. The only slight criticism I'd have is that you can kind of see a seam down the middle of the head, but that's okay. He wasn't expensive either. I think he came in at just under €200. Unfortunately, you can see a separation of the neck, but that's all about angles. You know, you can tilt the head down and get a different view perspective and knock that out and have a pensive looking Neander Wallace. And I think you'll agree, that's an impressive looking figure. Yeah, I do like this. I really like this. There's a lot to be said for, you know, characters that aren't the main characters being made. So those people who like a franchise, it's hard for us 1/6 collectors to get certain characters other than the main characters. So it's great to see this guy being made. So there you have it, guys. Neander Wallace from Supermad Toys. I'm really happy with this guy. You know, they didn't have to go to the effort of making that wooden stool, and I'm sure when you set this up with those, as I said, sensory floating devices, I'm sure it looks really, really cool. But I just thought I'd get a quick review of this out there for those of you who are thinking of pre-ordering it. And those of you who are into Blade Runner, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this figure. I'm very happy. And also, I should say, in terms of Supermad Toys, the sculpt on Deckard is amazing. The sculpt on Officer K isn't that great, but it is good. But I have to say they returned to form on this one. So there you go, guys. That's the end of the review. Please like, comment, and if you want, subscribe. That's all great. Sorry, I should say it is great to be back again, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more of this again in the near future. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.